Hello. It's been a while. It's been so long that if you compare my total amount of videos uploaded in the past year to the total amount of wins by Chelsea FC, we are both even at 1. Now, despite that information, we are still getting another upload on this channel before the release of GTA 6. But where exactly have I been? Do I even still play? These are questions we will address in today's video, where we look at a team that got me from rank 1 to legend rank in only 1 week, which honestly I didn't expect to happen when I started this season with only 16 days left. Now this team has a rating 4 coverage that would be equivalent to my grade 4 consistency in uploading, an F, which is ironic considering this team has a grade of A4 consistency. I probably should have checked that rating before deciding to run this team, but we hit legend anyways, so whatever. And without any further ado, let's see if I still know what to do and start this video. Now, as mentioned in the intro, I started the GBL season with only 16 days remaining, and despite having reached legend rank in the past 2 seasons starting with only 30 days remaining, I didn't think this would be possible. So I was quite surprised when I reached legend rank after 7 days. And you might be asking yourself, 415 battles in a week, is that even possible? Well, here's the thing. During my time off away from this game, I started studying the dark arts of hacking, and I was actually able to hack into the Niantic servers. Not only that, but I was able to reverse engineer the algorithm. And with that power, I was actually able... I'm just joking. I don't know a single thing about hacking. I can't even open a lock with a key. No, so what really happened was I started playing during Go Battle Weekend, which allowed me 100 battles per day instead of 25. I got really lucky and won over 65% of my battles, and 7 days later, I hit legend rank. Now the team I'm using is actually the same one I used to reach legend rank last season, and the main idea behind this team was running Wigglytuff in the lead, and there isn't really a safe switch here. The only time I would really ever swap out is if I saw a Skarmory, Talonflame, or Registeel, in which case I would swap out into Altaria. Safe swapping into Whiscash wasn't as common with this team, and then other Pokemon like Carbink, Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk, Shadow Victreebel, I would just stay in with Wigglytuff and basically sack it, Oli Soulshire style. But basically against anything that's not poison, steel, or fire, I would be staying in with the Wigglytuff. And then there's basically only 2 options. I play to win switch by going down in shields, or I look to lose switch in exchange for a shield advantage, and depending on what Pokemon I'm up against, I'll come in for a very aggressive farm with Whiscash, or just come in with Altaria and look to take an energy lead. The great thing about Whiscash and Altaria in the backline is that they have really good synergy with one another. They do a good job of covering each other's weaknesses. The only real threat to both of those Pokemon is an ice type, something like Dugong. Abomasnow could also be really challenging for both of these Pokemon, but these matchups are kind of dependent on the shield scenarios. And to be honest, I was seeing a lot of dragon types in the lead: Dragonite, Dragonair, Guzzlord, a lot of Lickitung, Sableye, Mandibuzz, so Wigglytuff was out here looking like Caitlin Clark, absolutely cooking the opposition. And just like CC, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna hate on Wiggly, but I don't mind when the wins come easy. For me, I'm at the point where the best wins are short and sweet. I'm past the days of trying to grind for leaderboards. I'm over all of that. No more queue times. If I'm going to make a push for legend rank, I want it to be as short as possible. But let's quickly jump into a bit of analysis for this matchup right here, because we dominate the lead. Wigglytuff into Chestnut, but the opponent swaps out into Shadow for Alligator, and instead of swapping out into Altaria, I'm actually going to stay in with the Wigglytuff because I know if I commit shields, I can guarantee that we maintain switch, and we don't need the Wigglytuff for that Chestnut because we have a second dominant answer for it in the form of Altaria. So obviously the most important thing in this scenario is to maintain switch advantage, which we're able to do, and as you can see, they have a Bastiodon in the back. If we were to lose switch, the opponent would then have their Chestnut on our Whiscash and their Bastiodon on our Altaria or Wigglytuff. Now I know for many of you that's very common sense stuff, RPS basics, but for some of the newer viewers or people new to Pokemon Go PvP, that's just a very good example of when the alignment heavily outweighs a shield advantage. Because right here, for example, even if the opponent, let's give them 3 shields against my Altaria having 0, Altaria is still going to win this matchup. The shields are basically useless for the opponent in this situation, so whenever you're in a matchup where you're absolutely dominated, for example, Chestnut into a Wigglytuff, if an opportunity arises in the secondary matchup to take switch, and it requires you to invest both of your shields, but you could actually win switch, you want to make that investment because it pays dividends in the end. And of course, the same holds true in the reverse scenario. For example, when I had Wigglytuff on Feraligatr, I 100% wanted to ensure that I win switch there. I could have swapped out into Altaria, decided to no shield a move, and then I get hit by an Ice Beam thinking it's a Hydro Cannon. I lose switch, opponent wins alignment, GG, I just threw. Now this next lead matchup here, Wigglytuff into Azumarill is also quite interesting. If the opponent builds up to Hydro Pump, I'm actually going to shield the first one because that is a potential lose con here. I want to win switch if I can. I also throw Icy Wind instead of Swift here because this allows us to survive the next Hydro Pump. Throwing Swift could be risky if they decide to shield, at which point we would have to burn our second shield in order to maintain switch advantage, and that's generally not a position I want to find myself in this early into the matchup. The way it played out, we do go down a shield, however we do leave with a move banked. We're able to maintain switch and throw an Icy Wind against Ferrothorn, and now we get to align Altaria on it instead of our Whiscash, and the opponent swaps out into Gligar. We are instantly going to swap out into Whiscash. We do not want those switch timers desynced, and of course with Whiscash here we are just looking to sacrifice it, get off as much damage as possible, soften up this Gligar for the Altaria. And right here, this is a very tricky spot because that Gligar is still very healthy. This is very important to know that you survive this move right here and get off this Scald. Some players may mistakenly decide to shield there, thinking that they won't survive in order to get off the Scald, but that could be a lose con in many situations, and that's just something that comes with practice and familiarity of matchups, but it could be a key difference in deciding whether or not you win or lose a battle. And then with Altaria in this position against Ferrothorn, I'm going to shield up the Thunder, and this should be a GG. Now unfortunately, this team may no longer be usable next season because Altaria is going to receive a nerf with the increased energy cost to Sky Attack, and Whiscash, which has already been nerfed with Scald, is also going to receive a nerf to Mud Shot, which is probably going to make it very irrelevant in the Great League for the most part. I would imagine that Altaria will still be quite good, but Dragon Breath isn't exactly the best move for generating energy, so any increase to the cost of charge attack moves is going to be a downgrade for Altaria. And as far as next season is concerned, I think I'm kind of past the point where I really look to grind PvP and GBL in general. There was once a point, and especially in the earlier seasons when I was first uploading videos to YouTube, where I was obsessed with GBL and PvP. I would constantly try to push for leaderboards, I would try to rank up as quickly as possible, and I would sit in queues for 10-15 minutes sometimes in order to find a battle. Safe to say those days are long gone, and as a result, that lack of interest in PvP and GBL in general has significantly affected my uploads to YouTube. As I've already mentioned, I skip about 70% of the GBL season. Typically I skip the first 60 days, and I've done that for about the past 5 seasons now. And although I think the changes for next season are somewhat positive, especially the switch timer being reduced, I don't think there's anything significant that's going to really pique my interest in playing again. And because of that, I'm not sure if I'm going to be uploading any more full-length videos like this one to this channel for the foreseeable future. Now, of course, nothing is set in stone. Something could happen tomorrow which forces me to consider doing this full-time, but considering how long it's been since I last uploaded a full-length video, I can't really see myself doing it going forward. And that brings us to YouTube Shorts, which is a format that I actually do really enjoy creating. However, if I'm not actually playing GBL, there isn't any content for me to create YouTube Shorts from. So that's something I'm potentially considering taking submissions for in the future, perhaps making shorts from that type of content instead. As of right now, I don't really know which direction I want to go in, but yeah, going forward, I think long form content is probably going to be non-existent on this channel. I know that's going to disappoint many of you, and I appreciate the support you've all shown me throughout the years. It's been an incredible journey, and I never thought I'd have anyone watch me, to be honest, but that same passion just isn't there like it once was. And yeah, I mean, it's very possible that there will be a resurgence in terms of my shorts content, but I just can't see myself putting in the same time and effort as I once did for the long form videos. But anything could happen in the future, and I definitely do want to get back on that shorts grind at some point at the very least. But getting back on the topic of this video, this was the team I used to go from rank 1 to legend rank in only 1 week. Technically speaking, it was about 3 weeks worth of battles in a week because of Go Battle Weekend, which allowed 100 battles per day instead of 25. But this was the Pikachu Libre set where we managed to go 5-0. I did not get a shiny, however I did get one last season, so I cannot complain. But yeah, we started the GBL season with 16 days remaining. We managed to reach Legend rank with just under 9 days to go. I of course did not touch GBL again in those 9 days. And I really like that 3000 elo, so I'm probably not even going to claim the rewards for this set in order to keep that perfect 3000. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you.